The morning sun filtered through the cafe windows as Jiyoon sat alone at a corner table, surrounded by fabric swatches and design magazines. Her coffee had grown cold, forgotten as she immersed herself in work to avoid thinking about the empty chair across from her. 3 months had passed since her ex-boyfriend walked away, yet the sting of abandonment remained fresh. Her design samples, usually a source of inspiration, now seemed to mock her with their perfect color combinations and harmonious patterns. And if you want a handsome CEO in your life and love videos like this, subscribe to our channel to have 10 years of luck in your life. Jiyoon pulled out her tablet, scrolling through her portfolio with critical eyes. 7 years of experience in interior design had earned her a respectable reputation, but something was missing. Her recent projects, while technically sound, lacked the spark that once defined her work. The breakup had affected more than just her personal life. It had seeped into her creative process, leaving her designs feeling as hollow as her apartment. The cafe buzzed with the usual morning crowd. Young professionals typing furiously on laptops, students highlighting textbooks, and business people rushing in for quick espressos. Jiyoon watched them, wondering how many of them felt as stuck as she did. Her phone lit up with a notification, drawing her attention to an email she might have usually overlooked. The subject line read, "Open call, Urban Space Revitalization Project, Innovative Designers Wanted." The project details captured her attention immediately. A major startup was seeking designers to transform their headquarters into a revolutionary workspace. The brief emphasized creativity, sustainability, and breaking away from traditional office designs. Jiyoon felt her pulse quicken as she read through the requirements. This wasn't just another corporate makeover, it was an opportunity to reinvent herself professionally. She spent the next hour completing the application, pouring her frustrations and hopes into the personal statement. Her fingers moved across the keyboard with renewed purpose, describing her vision for spaces that could transform not just rooms, but the people within them. After hitting submit, she ordered a fresh coffee, this time allowing herself to enjoy its warmth. 2 weeks later, Jiyoon stood in the lobby of a gleaming office building, her portfolio tucked under her arm. The elevator ride to the 20th floor gave her time to steady her nerves. The doors opened to reveal a space that needed serious intervention: generic office furniture, lifeless beige walls, and fluorescent lighting that made everyone look slightly ill. Minjoon waited by the reception desk, his presence immediately commanding attention. He wore a well-tailored suit, but his rolled-up sleeves and casual stance suggested someone who valued comfort over formality. When their eyes met, Jiyoon felt an unexpected jolt of recognition, as if they had met before in a dream. "Welcome to our concrete jungle," Minjoon said, extending his hand. His grip was firm but warm, matching his smile. "I hope you have ideas to make it less institutional."
Jiyoon surprised herself believing.
"I was thinking corporate purgatory, but concrete jungle works too." They walked through the space together, their footsteps echoing off bare walls. Jiyoon noticed how Minjoon's employees seemed to light up when he passed, offering genuine smiles rather than the forced ones typical in corporate environments. He knew everyone's name, asking about their families and projects with sincere interest. As they discussed potential changes, their ideas began to flow naturally, one building upon another. Jiyoon suggested breaking down unnecessary walls to create collaborative spaces, while Minjoon emphasized the importance of quiet areas for focused work. They found themselves finishing each other's sentences, their excitement growing with each new possibility. "What if we brought nature indoors?" Jiyoon suggested, gesturing to the windows that offered spectacular city views. Living walls, natural materials, maybe even a small indoor garden where people can work or take breaks. Minjoon's eyes lit up. Combined with sustainable technology and flexible workspaces. He added, already visualizing the transformation. Their initial meeting stretched from the planned hour into 3, their conversation flowing from design concepts to personal philosophies about work and life. Jiyoon found herself sharing her beliefs about how physical spaces influence human behavior and creativity. Minjoon listened intently, adding insights from his experience leading a growing company. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the office floor. They realized they had lost track of time. The chemistry between them was undeniable, but Ji-yoon forced herself to maintain professional boundaries. She had learned the hard way about mixing business with pleasure. Still, as they wrapped up their meeting, she couldn't help but feel that something significant had shifted in her life's trajectory. This project represented more than just a professional opportunity. It was a chance to prove to herself that she could create something meaningful again. As she left the building, the weight of her recent personal failures seemed lighter. She had taken the first step toward something new, though she couldn't yet know how deeply this decision would affect her life. Ji-yoon learned about Min-jun's family background during a project meeting that veered into unexpected territory. The revelation came when his phone wouldn't stop buzzing with messages from his mother. Min-jun apologized, explaining that his family's expectations had become increasingly demanding since he took over as CEO. The Kim family, known for their traditional business empire spanning 3 generations, had specific ideas about how their only son should conduct himself. The weight of tradition hung heavy in the air as Min-jun described his family's expectations. They wanted him to merge their old-school manufacturing company with his innovative startup, essentially absorbing his independent venture into the family business. More pressing was their insistence on arranging meetings with potential brides from other prestigious families, a practice Min-jun had managed to deflect until now. The situation reached a breaking point during a formal dinner at the Kim family estate. Ji-yoon found herself seated at an ornate dining table, surrounded by antiques that spoke of old money and centuries of tradition. Min-jun's mother, dressed in designer hanbok, spent the evening making subtle remarks about the importance of maintaining their family's legacy. His father, though less direct, made his disappointment clear through loaded questions about Min-jun's company's direction. The tension escalated when Min-jun's mother brought up the daughter of a prominent business associate, praising her family connections and traditional values. Ji-yoon watched as Min-jun's knuckles turned white around his chopsticks, his usual confidence replaced by carefully controlled anger. The evening ended with polite bows and forced smiles, but the underlying conflict remained unresolved. Later that night, in the quiet of Min-jun's office, he finally broke down. The sleek modern space contrasted sharply with the traditional environment they'd just left. Min-jun loosened his tie and sat heavily in his chair, looking more vulnerable than Ji-yoon had ever seen him. "I've spent years building something I believe in," he confessed, his voice tight with emotion. "But sometimes I wonder if I'm just being selfish, disappointing everyone who helped make me who I am." Ji-yoon listened as he described the weight of being the only son, the pressure of carrying forward a legacy he wasn't sure he believed in anymore. His startup represented more than just business success, it was his attempt to forge his own path while still honoring his family's entrepreneurial spirit. The conservative approach his parents advocated felt suffocating to someone who had grown up watching technology transform the world. Without thinking, Ji-yoon reached across the desk and took his hand. "Your vision isn't selfish," she said firmly. "You're not destroying your family's legacy. You're helping it evolve." The warmth of his hand in hers felt right, but it also scared her. She knew getting involved with Min-jun meant entering a world of public scrutiny and family politics she had deliberately avoided since her last relationship ended. The media had already begun to notice their frequent meetings. Business newspapers speculated about the potential collaboration between the innovative startup CEO and the rising interior designer. Some articles mentioned Min-jun's family's traditional expectations, creating a narrative of rebellion and romance that made Ji-yoon uncomfortable. She had experienced firsthand how public attention could destroy something genuine. Their working relationship continued to deepen despite these concerns. During late-night planning sessions, they shared more than just design ideas. Min-jun spoke about his dreams of creating a company culture that balanced innovation with well-being. Ji-yoon found herself opening up about her own struggles with family expectations, though hers had been about stability rather than tradition. The project timeline stretched longer than initially planned, partly because they kept refining their ideas, but also because neither wanted their collaboration to end. Each meeting became a careful dance of professional focus and personal connection. They both recognized the risk they were taking, Min-jun by defying his family's expectations, and Ji-yoon by allowing herself to care for someone whose life came with so much complexity. One evening, as they review materials for the office renovation, Min-joon received another call from his mother. Instead of stepping away as usual, he answered it in front of Ji-yoon. His voice was firm but respectful as he explained that he needed to make his own choices. When he hung up, the silence between them felt heavy with possibility and fear. They both understood that whatever was growing between them would face significant challenges. Ji-yoon found herself at a crossroads. Her professional instincts told her to maintain boundaries, to protect herself from the complications of Min-joon's world. But her heart recognized something rare in their connection, a shared understanding that went beyond physical attraction or professional compatibility. As Min-joon's family pressure increased, so did her fear that their relationship would become another casualty of public expectation and family duty. The annual Tech Innovation Gala transformed the city's convention center into a showcase of achievement and ambition. Ji-yoon arrived feeling confident in her navy blue evening gown, but her composure shattered when she spotted Seo-yeon, the reality TV star who now dated her ex-boyfriend, making a dramatic entrance. Camera flashes exploded around Seo-yeon, her perfectly curated image capturing everyone's attention. The coincidence felt too orchestrated to be accidental. Seo-yeon had built her career by understanding exactly how to create viral moments, and her appearance at an event where Ji-yoon would be presenting her work with Min-joon's company seemed calculated. Whispers spread through the crowd as people recognized the connection, and Ji-yoon felt the familiar anxiety of unwanted attention creeping back. Min-joon noticed the change in Ji-yoon's demeanor immediately. He placed a protective hand on her lower back, steering them toward a quieter corner of the venue. But escape proved impossible when Seo-yeon approached their table during dinner, cameras trailing behind her.
Yoon.
"What a surprise to see you here," she exclaimed with practiced enthusiasm. "Hyunwoo sends his regards." The mention of her ex-boyfriend's name dropped like a stone in still water, creating ripples of discomfort around the table. Ji-yoon maintained her composure, years of professional networking coming to her aid.
Thank you, Seo-yeon.
"I hope you're both well." The words tasted bitter, but she delivered them with a smile that revealed nothing of her inner turmoil. Later that evening, safely away from prying eyes in Min-joon's office, Ji-yoon finally let her guard down. 3 years ago, I was where Seo-yeon is now, she explained, pacing the room. The constant attention, the pressure to maintain an image, the way every relationship becomes content for someone else's entertainment. I watched my relationship with Hyunwoo transform into a storyline for his reality show until I couldn't recognize what was real anymore. Min-joon listened intently as Ji-yoon described her past life in the public eye. As a successful interior designer, she had been featured in home improvement shows and lifestyle magazines. Her relationship with Hyunwoo, then an up-and-coming television producer, had thrust her further into the spotlight. The attention had seemed exciting at first, but gradually became suffocating. The final blow came when Hyunwoo suggested turning their wedding planning into a reality show. Ji-yoon's refusal led to arguments, which he recorded without her knowledge and leaked to create drama for his show. The betrayal had been complete, not just of their relationship, but of her trust in the entire entertainment industry. Now, watching Seo-yeon navigate the same world with apparent ease, Ji-yoon felt a complex mix of emotions. Relief at having escaped that life warred with residual anger at how her privacy had been violated. The media attention surrounding her growing connection with Min-joon stirred up memories she'd rather forget. Min-joon tried to comfort her, sharing his own experiences with public scrutiny as a chaebol heir. But his attempts at consolation were complicated by his own relationship with fame. As his company grew more successful, his public profile had only increased. Dating him meant stepping back into a spotlight Ji-yoon had deliberately left behind. Their evening ended with unresolved tension. Min-joon's protective instincts clashed with Ji-yoon's need for privacy. He wanted to publicly defend her against gossip and speculation, while she preferred to maintain a low profile. The appearance of Seo-yeon had exposed the fault lines in their different approaches to public life. In the days following the gala, entertainment news sites began running stories about the love triangle between Ji-yoon, her ex, and his reality star girlfriend. Some articles dug up old footage from Ji-yoon's television appearances, analyzing her transformation from media personality to private professional. The renewed attention threatened to overshadow her work on Min-jun's office renovation project. Min-jun struggled to understand why Ji-yoon wouldn't let him handle the situation more directly. His instinct to protect her warred with his respect for her independence. Their work meetings became charged with unspoken concerns about how their personal relationship might affect their professional collaboration. The situation reached a breaking point when Seo-yeon's latest reality show episode featured her discussing Ji-yoon and Min-jun's project. The casual mention seemed innocent enough, but it effectively linked their professional work to the entertainment world Ji-yoon had fought so hard to leave behind. The past she thought she'd escaped was reaching into her present, threatening to unravel everything she'd rebuilt. The message from Park Min-ah, Ji-yoon's former colleague turned social media influencer, arrived unexpectedly one morning. Min-ah's proposal seemed simple enough, a new reality show focusing on innovative designers transforming spaces. The production company offered Ji-yoon a featured role, promising creative control and a platform to showcase her design philosophy. The opportunity represented everything she'd once wanted: visibility, recognition, and the chance to inspire others. Min-ah arranged a meeting at an upscale cafe, far from the usual entertainment industry haunts. She arrived perfectly styled, her social media presence evident in every calculated gesture. "This isn't like before," Min-ah insisted, sliding the contract across the table. "You'll have final approval on all footage. Think about what this could do for your career, especially with the Min-jun connection." The mention of Min-jun's name triggered memories of past media manipulation. Ji-yoon remembered how Hyunwoo had made similar promises about creative control and privacy. She recalled the subtle ways he'd pushed her boundaries, turning intimate moments into content, until their relationship existed more for the cameras than for themselves. The production company's contract, despite its promises, felt like a familiar trap. In her apartment that evening, Ji-yoon pulled out her old media appearances stored in a box she rarely opened. The woman on those magazine covers looked like a stranger now, perfectly styled, always smiling, but with an emptiness in her eyes that only she could recognize. The emotional cost of maintaining that image had nearly broken her. Videos from her previous shows revealed the gradual erosion of her authenticity, each episode showing less of her real passion for design and more of the manufactured drama producers demanded. When Min-jun arrived to discuss the offer, he found Ji-yoon surrounded by these remnants of her past life. He sat quietly as she shared stories she'd never told anyone about the panic attacks before filming, the constant pressure to create conflict for ratings, and the way her genuine enthusiasm for design had been twisted into entertainment fodder. The vulnerability in her voice revealed wounds that hadn't fully healed. Min-jun listened intently, his own experience with media scrutiny allowing him to understand her hesitation. However, his perspective as a business leader made him see potential benefits in the opportunity. "The visibility could help both our careers," he suggested carefully. "We could control the narrative this time, use it to showcase real innovation in design and business." His words sparked a complex discussion about authenticity in the age of constant documentation. Ji-yoon understood his point. In today's interconnected world, some degree of public presence was unavoidable. Yet the thought of deliberately stepping back into that spotlight made her physically ill. She remembered the toll it had taken on her creativity, how every design decision became influenced by what would look good on camera rather than what served the space and its inhabitants. The deadline for the show's decision loomed closer. Min-jun, while supportive, couldn't fully hide his enthusiasm for the potential business advantages. His company was entering a crucial growth phase, and the publicity from the show could help establish them as innovation leaders. The conflict between his business instincts and his concern for Ji-yoon's well-being created an underlying tension in their conversations. Ji-yoon sought advice from her closest friend, a therapist who had helped her rebuild her life after the reality TV fallout. The therapist posed a crucial question: "Are you saying no because it's truly not right for you? Or because you're letting past trauma dictate your future?" This perspective forced Ji-yoon to examine her fears more objectively, to distinguish between legitimate concerns and reactive anxiety. As she wrestled with the decision, Ji-yoon noticed how the possibility of returning to public life affected her work. During project meetings, she caught herself wondering how certain design choices would appear on camera. The pure joy of creation, which had returned during her collaboration with Minjun, began to feel tainted by external side rations. The very thought of cameras documenting her process made her second-guess her instincts. The decision to enter the prestigious Asian Design Innovation Competition marked a turning point for both Ji-yoon and Minjun. Unlike reality television, this competition focused purely on design merit and innovation, attracting professionals from across the continent. The stakes were high. The winner would receive not only international recognition but also substantial funding for future projects. Ji-yoon immersed herself in the competition preparation, finding comfort in the clear rules and objective criteria. The project requirements challenged designers to create sustainable, multifunctional spaces that could adapt to post-pandemic work culture. This aligned perfectly with the philosophy she and Minjun had developed during their collaboration on his company's office renovation. Their workspace became a sanctuary of creativity. Minjun cleared an entire floor of his building for their competition project, understanding that Ji-yoon needed a space free from outside pressures. They spent countless hours there, surrounded by material samples, 3D models, and digital renderings. The environment they created became a physical manifestation of their growing trust in each other. During these intensive work sessions, their professional synergy deepened into something more profound. Minjun's business acumen complemented Ji-yoon's design intuition perfectly. He helped her understand market trends and user psychology, while she showed him how physical spaces could shape human behavior and company culture. Their different perspectives created solutions neither could have conceived alone. One evening, as they reviewed their progress, Ji-yoon finally voiced the fears she'd been harboring. Success in this competition means visibility, she admitted, her hands tracing the lines of their latest design. I'm afraid of losing myself again in public expectations. The confession hung in the air between them, heavy with implications about their future together.
Minjun's response surprised her.
Instead of offering immediate reassurance, he shared his own vulnerabilities. He spoke about the loneliness of being in the public eye, the constant pressure to maintain appearances, and how meeting her had shown him the possibility of being truly understood. His honesty created a space where Ji-yoon felt safe expressing her deepest insecurities about fame and success. Their conversation extended into the early hours of the morning. They discussed how fame affected their respective fields differently, how the design world's attention focused on creation and innovation, unlike the entertainment industry's emphasis on personal drama. Minjun helped Ji-yoon see that professional recognition didn't have to mean sacrificing personal boundaries. The competition project itself became a testament to their shared values. They designed a space that could transform based on users' needs while maintaining privacy and fostering genuine connections. The concept incorporated traditional Korean architectural elements with cutting-edge technology, creating areas that could shift from public to private smoothly. Every detail reflected their understanding of the delicate balance between visibility and personal space. Working together revealed new layers of their relationship. Ji-yoon noticed how Minjun instinctively shielded her from unnecessary interruptions during creative sessions. He observed how she came alive when discussing design concepts, her previous fears forgotten in moments of pure creative flow. These observations deepened their appreciation for each other's strengths and sensitivities. Their personal relationship grew stronger through the challenges of competition preparation. Late-night work sessions often turned into deep conversations about their hopes and fears. Minjun shared childhood memories of feeling trapped by family expectations, while Ji-yoon described her journey of rediscovering her passion for design after her public life ended. These conversations created an intimacy based on mutual understanding and respect. As the competition deadline approached, they found themselves discussing future possibilities. Minjun expressed his desire to support Ji-yoon's career while protecting her privacy. She, in turn, helped him envision ways to honor his family's legacy while staying true to his innovative spirit. Their professional collaboration had evolved into a partnership that promised to transform both their lives. The competition venue buzzed with energy as designers from across Asia presented their innovations. Jiyoon and Minjun had arranged their display area meticulously, their design standing out for its seamless blend of traditional elements and modern functionality. The excitement of the moment was interrupted when Seo-yeon made her unexpected entrance, camera crew in tow, claiming to be covering the event for her reality show. The atmosphere shifted immediately. Other competitors began whispering and pointing, recognizing the reality star from her shows. Jiyoon felt her chest tighten as cameras swung in her direction, but she forced herself to focus on presenting their design to the judges. Minjun stood protectively close, fielding questions about the technical aspects while Jiyoon explained the creative vision behind their work. Simultaneously, Minjun received an urgent message from his family. His mother had arranged a meeting with the daughter of a prominent business partner, scheduling it for the same evening as the competition's closing ceremony. The message made their expectations clear. His participation in this design competition was becoming an embarrassment to the family name, and it was time he focused on more suitable endeavors. The pressure mounted as Minjun tried to balance his commitment to Jiyoon and the competition with his family's demands. During their presentation breaks, he fielded constant calls from family members, each conversation leaving him more visibly stressed. His father's secretary arrived unannounced, delivering formal documents about a potential arranged marriage contract, making the situation impossible to ignore. Jiyoon watched as Minjun struggled with these competing demands. She recognized the familiar signs of someone being torn apart by public expectations and family pressure. The situation felt eerily similar to her past experiences, though the source of pressure was different. Where she had fought against media manipulation, Minjun battled generations of family tradition and social expectations. The competition judges praised their design's innovation, particularly noting how it addressed modern workplace challenges while respecting cultural values. However, the professional triumph was overshadowed by personal tensions. Seo-yeon's camera crew captured every interaction between Jiyoon and Minjun, turning their genuine collaboration into potential entertainment fodder. During a crucial presentation to potential investors, Minjun's phone buzzed continuously with messages from his mother about the arranged marriage meeting. The disruption affected his usually confident delivery, leading to awkward moments that the ever-present cameras eagerly captured. Jiyoon stepped in smoothly to cover these moments, but the strain on their partnership became increasingly visible. The situation reached a critical point when Minjun's father made an appearance at the competition. His presence, dignified and commanding, created an immediate stir. He observed their presentation with an unreadable expression, making notes in a small leather-bound notebook. The weight of his judgment affected not just Minjun, but their entire team's morale. Later that evening, in a private moment away from the cameras and crowds, Minjun revealed the full extent of his family's pressure. They had threatened to withdraw support from his company if he didn't comply with their wishes. The arrangement they proposed included not just marriage to a suitable candidate, but also a complete restructuring of his company to align with traditional business practices. Jiyoon listened as Minjun detailed his family's plans, her heart heavy with understanding. The parallels between their situations became clearer, both trapped by others' expectations, both fighting to maintain authenticity in their work and relationships. The competition that had brought them closer now seemed to be forcing them to confront the reality of their different worlds. Away from the competition's intensity, Jiyoon and Minjun found moments of peace during their evening walks along Haeundae Beach. The coastal setting provided a stark contrast to their professional lives, with the endless horizon offering perspective on their challenges. One particularly memorable evening, they walked barefoot in the sand as the sun painted the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks. The sound of waves created a natural barrier against the outside world, allowing them to speak freely about their deepest concerns. Minjun shared his childhood dreams of building something meaningful, describing how he'd spent hours in his father's office drawing up business plans instead of following the traditional path his parents envisioned. His fingers intertwined with Jiyoon's as he spoke about his desire to create a company culture that valued innovation over hierarchy. Jiyoon, in turn, opened up about her artistic journey. She described her early passion for transforming spaces, how she'd sketch room layouts in her notebooks during school, and how that pure creative joy had been temporarily lost during her time in the entertainment industry. The competition had reignited that original passion, reminding her why she fell in love with design in the first place. Their conversation shifted to future possibilities as they watched fishing boats return to the harbor. Minjun spoke about his vision for expanding his company internationally, while Jiyoon shared her dreams of starting a design academy that would focus on sustainable and humanitarian projects. Their individual aspirations seemed to complement each other naturally, making their shared future feel both exciting and achievable. However, the romantic setting couldn't entirely shield them from reality. Minjun's phone continuously lit up with messages from his family, each notification a reminder of the pressure they faced. Jiyoon noticed how his shoulders tensed with each buzz, how the weight of expectation threatened to overshadow their peaceful moment. The competition's final stages loomed ahead, carrying both promise and potential complications. During a quiet dinner at a seaside restaurant, they discussed what love meant in their complex circumstances. Minjun expressed his frustration with the traditional notion that marriage should prioritize family alliances over personal connection. Jiyoon understood this struggle, having experienced how external pressures could corrupt something genuine. They found themselves questioning whether their relationship could survive the mounting pressures from family, media, and society. The competition's demands began to feel overwhelming as they approached the final stages. Jiyoon noticed Minjun's increasing distraction during their work sessions, his attention divided between their project and his family's expectations. She began to wonder if her presence in his life was making things more difficult, adding another layer of complexity to his already complicated situation. Their evening walks became shorter as competition deadlines approached. The peaceful moments they'd shared seemed increasingly precious as the reality of their situation pressed in. Jiyoon found herself questioning whether she should step back from the competition to protect their relationship, even though the thought of abandoning their shared vision pained her deeply. During what would be their last carefree evening together before the competition's final phase, they sat on a quiet stretch of beach, sharing their fears about the future. Minjun confessed his terror of disappointing both his family and Jiyoon, while she admitted her fear that their relationship might not survive the scrutiny and pressure ahead. The honesty of their conversation brought them closer even as it highlighted the challenges they faced. The night ended with a promise to protect what they'd built together, regardless of the competition's outcome. However, as they walked back to their cars, both felt the weight of unspoken doubts. The competition that had brought them together now threatened to force them apart, as the pressure to succeed professionally competed with their desire to preserve their personal connection. The final day of the competition arrived with the weight of countless expectations. Jiyoon stood before the judging panel, presenting their innovative design with the confidence that came from months of preparation. The presentation space buzzed with anticipation as industry leaders and media representatives gathered to witness the culmination of Asia's most prestigious design competition. Jiyoon's presentation demonstrated how their design revolutionized workplace dynamics through adaptable spaces and sustainable materials. The judges leaned forward with interest as she explained how traditional Korean architectural principles informed their modern solutions. Her voice remained steady, even as she noticed Seo-yeon and her camera crew positioning themselves strategically around the presentation area. Everything proceeded smoothly until the Q&A session, when Seo-yeon raised her hand. The reality star, perfectly composed for the cameras, asked what appeared to be an innocent question about Jiyoon's design philosophy. However, her follow-up statement sent ripples through the audience. Isn't this design concept remarkably similar to the one you discussed 3 years ago on Design Stars with your former partner, Hyunwoo? The accusation of plagiarism, though veiled, hung in the air. Jiyoon felt the familiar sensation of her private life becoming public spectacle as whispers spread through the audience. The cameras captured every micro-expression on her face as she maintained her composure, explaining clearly how this design evolved from her recent collaboration with Minjun's company. Seo-yeon wasn't finished. She produced screenshots from old episodes of the show, displaying them on her tablet for the judges to see. The images showed rough sketches of a workplace design that, while fundamentally different, shared some basic elements with their current project. The reality star had carefully crafted this moment for maximum dramatic effect, timing it perfectly for her show's narrative. The media presence at the competition multiplied as word spread about the controversy. Entertainment reporters who normally wouldn't cover a design competition suddenly appeared, eager to capture the unfolding drama. Articles began appearing online, comparing Ji-yoon's past television appearances with her current work, analyzing every detail for signs of creative dishonesty. Minjun attempted to intervene, stepping forward to explain how their design process had been thoroughly documented from conception to execution. However, his defense only provided more fodder for speculation about their relationship. Some media outlets began suggesting that their personal connection had compromised the competition's integrity, questioning whether their collaboration was appropriate. Ji-yoon felt her carefully constructed professional world beginning to crumble. The judges requested additional documentation to verify the originality of their design, a standard procedure that nevertheless felt like a personal attack. She spent hours compiling their development notebooks, digital files, and meeting notes, all while fighting against the rising tide of public SCR. Yunmi. The situation deteriorated further when someone leaked early design sketches from Ji-yoon's time on Design Stars. While these sketches actually demonstrated how dramatically different her current work was, entertainment media twisted the narrative to suggest a pattern of recycling ideas. The professional design community began to distance themselves, fearful of being drawn into the controversy. As the day drew to a close, Ji-yoon found herself facing a familiar crossroads. The exposure she had carefully avoided for years had found her again, threatening not just her reputation but the integrity of her work with Minjun. Standing in their project space, surrounded by the physical evidence of their genuine collaboration, she faced the reality that her past would always find ways to intrude on her present, forcing her to choose between defending her work and protecting her privacy. The next morning, Ji-yoon made a decision that would reshape both her personal and professional trajectory. She withdrew from the reality show negotiations entirely, drafting a clear statement that emphasized her commitment to authentic design work. The statement, released through proper professional channels rather than entertainment media, redirected attention back to the innovative aspects of their competition entry. Minjun faced his own watershed moment with his family. During a tense dinner at his parents' home, he finally articulated the vision he had been building toward. He explained how their family's legacy of innovation didn't need to be confined to traditional business models. His voice remained steady as he described how his partnership with Ji-yoon represented not a rebellion against family values, but an evolution of them. The business world was changing, he argued, and their family needed to adapt to remain relevant. Their professional collaboration entered a new phase as they refined their competition entry. The design studio became a haven where they could focus solely on their work, shutting out the noise of family pressure and media speculation. Ji-yoon found herself rediscovering her creative confidence, no longer second-guessing every decision through the lens of public perception. Her designs grew bolder, incorporating elements that might not photograph well for magazines but serve their intended purpose perfectly. During this period, they shared a particularly vulnerable moment late one evening in the studio. Minjun revealed his deepest fear, that his desire for independence would permanently damage his relationship with his parents. Ji-yoon listened as he described the weight of being the only son, the complexity of wanting to honor his heritage, while forging his own path. Her response came from experience. Sometimes protecting what matters means disappointing people you love. Their connection deepened through these honest exchanges. They discovered that their individual struggles with external expectations had shaped similar values: a desire for authenticity, a commitment to innovation, and the courage to choose substance over appearance. These shared values began manifesting in their work, as their design evolved to reflect both traditional wisdom and modern necessity. The pressure from Minjun's family took an unexpected turn when his grandmother visited the design studio. Unlike his parents, she spent hours observing their work process, asking thoughtful questions about their vision. Her presence carried the weight of family authority, but her perspective proved surprisingly progressive. She recognized in their collaboration the same spirit of innovation that had helped her husband build their family business decades ago. Ji-yoon found strength in focusing on her craft rather than her image. She declined interviews with entertainment programs, instead accepting invitations to speak at design conferences and universities. Her presentations emphasized the technical and philosophical aspects of their work, deliberate, while steering conversations away from personal matters. This professional approach gradually began rebuilding her reputation within the design community. Their relationship matured through this period of intense pressure. They learned to protect their private moments while navigating public obligations, finding balance between ambition and personal peace. Minjun discovered ways to honor his family's legacy through innovation rather than tradition, while Ji-yoon learned that professional recognition didn't require sacrificing personal boundaries. Together, they created spaces within their lives where they could be authentic, both as professionals and as partners. Their design work reflected this evolution, incorporating areas for both connection and solitude, understanding that true innovation requires both collaboration and personal reflection. This philosophy became the cornerstone of their professional partnership and their personal relationship. The final event of the design competition transformed the convention center into a showcase of innovation and possibility. Ji-yoon and Minjun's collaborative space dominated the main exhibition hall, their design drawing attention for its seamless integration of traditional elements with cutting-edge technology. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation as industry leaders, media representatives, and competitors gathered for the final presentations. Their moment of triumph, however, shifted dramatically when Seo-yeon made her calculated revelation. Standing before the assembled crowd, she held up her phone, playing a compilation of secretly recorded moments between Ji-yoon and Minjun. The footage, captured during their private conversations and work sessions, had been edited to create artificial drama. The public deserves to see the real story behind this design, Seo-yeon announced, her voice carrying through the stunned silence. The revelation that their entire journey had been secretly documented for a reality show sent shockwaves through the audience. The cameras captured every reaction, the judges' frowns, the competitors' whispers, and the growing discomfort among the industry professionals. Ji-yoon felt the familiar sensation of her world contracting, the air becoming thick with judgment and speculation. Yet this time, something was different. Instead of retreating, Minjun stepped forward. His voice, clear and unwavering, cut through the murmurs. Yes, our story has been recorded without our consent. But what these unauthorized recordings actually show is something genuine. Two professionals pushing boundaries, challenging conventions, and creating something meaningful. The audience fell silent as Minjun continued, addressing not just the immediate crowd but the broader implications of their situation. He spoke about the pressure to conform, whether to family traditions or media narratives. He described how his partnership with Ji-yoon had taught him that true innovation requires authenticity, even when that authenticity challenges established norms. Ji-yoon found herself moving to stand beside him, their united front a physical manifestation of their shared values. She addressed the judges directly, explaining how their design reflected not just architectural innovation but a new way of thinking about spaces, one that valued both connection and privacy, tradition and progress. The unexpected twist came when Minjun's grandmother rose from her seat in the audience. Her presence, commanding respect from both the Kim family members and the business community, added weight to what followed. She spoke of innovation across generations, of how every era requires courage to move forward while honoring the past. Her public support transformed the narrative from scandal to testament of evolving traditions. As the reality show footage played on screens around them, its intended impact faltered. What was meant to expose and embarrass instead revealed dedication, creativity, and genuine
collaboration.
The cameras had captured countless hours of real innovation, authentic connection, and professional growth. The very tool intended to undermine them became evidence of their integrity. In the end, their design won not just the competition's top prize but something more valuable, recognition for its authentic vision. The judges' decision acknowledged both the technical innovation and the human story behind it. Their work represented a bridge between tradition and progress, private and public, personal and professional. The final scenes captured by the unwanted cameras showed something unexpected: a couple standing strong in their truth, families beginning to bridge generational divides, and an industry recognizing that genuine innovation requires real human connection. Minjun's public declaration of love became not just a personal statement, but a professional one, asserting that authenticity in relationships and work cannot be separated. Their story, though exposed without their consent, ultimately reinforced what they had built together: a partnership that could withstand public scrutiny because it was founded on shared values and genuine innovation. The chaos that threatened to destroy them instead revealed the strength of their connection and the validity of their vision for the future.